2005 didn't just hand us cat videos, it shook the planet, rewired tech, and redrew political maps. In 12 quick stops, you'll watch Katrina's levees collapse, YouTube's red play button blink on, and a robot touch Titan's orange haze. Simple, fast, jargon-free, we'll unpack moments still echoing across screens and streets today, for good or ill. Buckle up now, everyone. On August 29th, Hurricane Katrina roared ashore near New Orleans. But wind wasn't the real villain. Water was. When aging levees failed, 80% of the city disappeared under toxic floodwater. Images of families atop roofs and crowds stranded in the Superdome revealed disaster planning gaps and deep social inequity. More than 1,800 people died. Damages topped $125 billion. The slow, confused response became a political firestorm, sparking reforms to U.S. emergency management. Many evacuees never returned, reshaping Gulf demographics and culture. Rebuilt neighborhoods adopted tougher building codes, yet climate scientists warned stronger storms would keep coming. Katrina became shorthand for worst-case scenario, a grim yardstick for every hurricane season since. Whenever news anchors say, "another Katrina," they mean failure to protect the most vulnerable when nature tests the seams. Valentine's Day brought nerd romance. 3 PayPal alumni quietly pushed a beta site called YouTube. Their big idea? Make video sharing as easy as emailing a photo, sideline clunky codecs, pop-ups, and long downloads. A short clip at the San Diego Zoo was first to load. Within months, skate tricks, karaoke fails, and tsunamis filled servers. The secret sauce was flash transcoding. One URL for every device, plus that irresistible red play button. Viewers felt like broadcasters. Creators found global audiences overnight. By year's end, daily views hit 8 million, attracting Google, which bought the startup in 2006 for $1.65 billion. YouTube rewired entertainment, politics, and learning. Cat clips led to careers. Makeup tutorials toppled magazines. And eyewitness videos reshaped breaking news. Streaming's Big Bang started here. Morning commuters packed the London Underground on July 7th, when 4 coordinated bombs exploded on 3 subway trains and a double-decker bus. Britain's worst peacetime attack since World War II struck just a day after the city celebrated winning the 2012 Olympics. Security cameras captured the bombers, all British citizens inspired by Al-Qaeda. Emergency crews faced chaotic tunnels, overloaded phone networks, and a bus shredded in Tavistock Square. The attacks forced sweeping reviews of intelligence sharing and prevent programs targeting homegrown extremism. Londoners adopted the mantra, "keep calm and carry on," returning to work the next day. A display of resilience echoed worldwide. 7/7 underscored that global terrorism had fully entered Western mass transit and hometown streets. After 26 years as a globe-trotting spiritual celebrity, Pope John Paul II died on April 2nd, drawing 4 million pilgrims to Rome. His funeral, broadcast in 200 nations, became one of history's largest religious gatherings. Cardinals entered conclave and after just 2 ballots, elected German theologian Josef Ratzinger as Pope Benedict XVI. The choice signaled continuity on doctrine, but a shift toward internal discipline after widening abuse scandals. Benedict's scholarly style contrasted with his predecessor's charisma, yet he inherited John Paul's global influence and complex political legacy, anti-communist hero, interfaith bridge builder, and conservative cultural warrior. The transition highlighted how a 2 millennia-old institution manages modern media frenzy, centuries-old rituals wrapped in live TV. It also set up debates that culminated in Benedict's unprecedented resignation 8 years later. On February 16th, the Kyoto Protocol, negotiated in 1997, finally gained enough ratifications to become binding international law. Industrialized nations pledged to cut greenhouse gas emissions and average 5% below 1990 levels by 2012. The United States, under President George W. Bush, remained outside, citing economic harm and China's free pass. Still, Europe, Japan, and Canada began carbon trading markets and renewable energy pushes. Environmentalists hailed Kyoto as a first baby step. Critics called it toothless without America. The agreement introduced cap and trade pricing, emission credits, and the idea that the atmosphere has a budget. While many targets were missed, Kyoto laid the legal framework for later deals, Copenhagen, Paris, and normalized annual UN climate conferences. Every COP headline since traces its lineage to the day Kyoto's paperwork finally went live. Purple fingers became symbols of fragile hope. On January 30th, when Iraqis braved bombs and boycotts to vote for a transitional national assembly. It was the country's first free election in half a century, 2 years after the US-led invasion toppled Saddam Hussein. Turnout exceeded expectations, though Sunni participation lagged, foreshadowing sectarian fractures. The new assembly drafted a constitution and chose a prime minister, but violence persisted, and insurgencies morphed into civil conflict. Still, the image of voters flashing ink-stained fingertips circulated worldwide, presented by coalition leaders as proof democracy could bloom in hostile soil. Analysts remain divided on success, but the election set Iraq's political timetable and influenced debates on nation-building, counterinsurgency, and whether ballots or bullets shape post-war legitimacy. On November 22nd, Angela Merkel, an East German physicist turned politician, was sworn in as Germany's 8th chancellor, and its first woman and first leader from the former GDR. Heading a grand coalition, she balanced pro-business conservatives with social democrats, signaling pragmatism over ideology. Merkel's low-drama, data-driven style soon earned the nickname Mutti, Mom, and positioned her as Europe's de facto crisis manager through the 2008 financial crash, Eurozone debt turmoil, and migrant influx. Her 2005 win also cracked the glass ceiling across EU politics, inspiring parties to elevate female leaders. Domestically, she pushed renewable energy reforms and cautious social liberalization. Internationally, her steady hand contrasted with flashier peers, proving that quiet competence can dominate headlines, eventually making her one of the world's longest-serving democratic heads of government. In August, under Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, Israel unilaterally withdrew some 8,000 settlers and all military forces from the Gaza Strip, ending a 38-year presence. Bulldozers razed empty homes as residents were evacuated, some forcibly, while world cameras rolled. Supporters saw a bold step toward a two-state solution. Critics called it a concession to terrorism. The Palestinian Authority struggled to establish order. Hamas later seized control, launching cycles of rocket fire and Israeli blockades. Sharon's gamble fractured Israeli politics, birthing the centrist Kadima party, but leaving peace negotiations stalled. The disengagement reshaped Gaza's demography and economy, and remains a reference point in every debate over settlements, borders, and security. It proved that territorial withdrawals are possible, yet far from guaranteeing quiet or compromise. 20 years after Live Aid, musician-activist Bob Geldof orchestrated Live 8, 10 simultaneous concerts on July 2nd, timed ahead of the G8 summit in Scotland. Stars from U2 to Madonna played free shows, broadcast to 2 billion viewers, demanding "Make Poverty History." The pressure seemed to work. G8 leaders pledged $40 billion in debt relief for poor nations and doubled aid to Africa by 2010. Critics argued delivery fell short and charity frames oversimplified systemic trade issues. Still, Live 8 reignited public interest in development economics and showcased how entertainment platforms can nudge policy. Wristbands, text petitions, and a single slogan turned spectators into digital activists. Early proof that social media plus celebrity megaphones could mobilize global causes, long before hashtags became lobbying tools. On July 11th, Google quietly acquired a little-known startup called Android Inc., led by engineer Andy Rubin. The company was building an open-source mobile operating system to rival Nokia's Symbian and Microsoft's Windows Mobile. Google's motives puzzled analysts until rumors surfaced about a G-phone. The purchase laid groundwork for a platform that would power billions of devices, lower smartphone costs, and turn Google's search ads empire mobile. Android's open model contrasted with Apple's walled garden, setting up the decade's defining tech rivalry. While no hardware appeared in 2005, the codebase began absorbing Google Maps, Gmail, and Play services. In retrospect, the $50 million deal ranks among tech's best bargains. Proof that sometimes the biggest industry quake starts with a headline nobody notices. On November 22nd, eager gamers camped outside U.S. retailers for Microsoft's Xbox 360, the first 7th-generation console. It beat Sony's PlayStation 3 and Nintendo's Wii to market, boasting high-definition graphics, wireless controllers, and Xbox Live's beefed-up online marketplace. Launch titles like Call of Duty 2 and Perfect Dark Zero showcased cinematic visuals, while indie developers eyed the forthcoming arcade platform. Hardware shortages and infamous Red Ring of Death failures plagued early adopters, costing Microsoft over $1 billion in warranty fixes. Yet, the 360 established achievements, downloadable content, and integrated media streaming as industry norms, steering consoles from standalone boxes to living room hubs. Its success convinced skeptics that Microsoft could compete in entertainment, not just software, and turned online multiplayer from niche hobby to global pastime. January 14 brought humanity's first touchdown in the outer solar system when the European-built Huygens probe parachuted onto Titan, Saturn's largest moon. After a 7-year piggyback ride on NASA's Cassini spacecraft, Huygens beamed back eerie images of methane-carved riverbeds and pebble-like ice rocks under a hazy orange sky. Scientists cheered proof that liquid hydrocarbons shape Titan much like water sculpts Earth, hinting at prebiotic chemistry. The descent data revealed winds, temperature layers, and a surprisingly crunchy landing surface. Huygens survived just over an hour, yet the gigabytes gathered rewrote planetary textbooks and fed dreams of future submarine drones exploring Titan's methane seas. Every headline about life's ingredients beyond Earth now mentions that chilly January day when a European robot kissed an alien shore. That was 2005. Floodwaters and fair elections, popes and playlists, purple fingers and red rings, all stitched into 12 quick snapshots. These moments still steer today's clicks, storms, and policy fights. Think we missed a key headline? Drop it below and tell us what year you want next on the timeline. Hit subscribe so you never miss another 12-stop time jump.